Welcome, survivors. This is Julie 1961 for Old Gamerz Never Die, and we are back on the island playing Ark in 2021. And today our mission here is to go out and get us a Pterodon. So we are going to PTame a Terry. I'm looking forward to it. Hope you are too. Sit back, enjoy yourself. If you are finding these videos enjoyable or informative, please make sure you leave a like. And if you would, subscribe to the channel. It really helps me out. And if you do subscribe, make sure you hit that bell so that you can be notified every time I post a new video. So with that said, let's get this puppy started. Alright, through the magic of video madness, it is morning, and we are going to start our quest to look for a Pterodon for us to tame. When we talked last, one of the things that I said would be important for taming a flyer is to make sure that we can keep them on the ground so that they don't fly away. So the things we're going to need in order to capture a Pterodon is we're going to need bolas, and we're going to need tranquilizer arrows. And we haven't gotten those yet in our videos, but we have worked up our levels. So we'll go to our inventory and go to our engrams. Let's see, let's go ahead and level up. We're going to put some on health, on stamina, weight. Let's double up on weight. Okay, so if we come down through the list of items here, things that we're going to want to get. We've got the bowl already. We've got a bow. So let's scroll down here to level 21, I believe is where it's at. And we are going to pick up, there we go, Tranq Arrows. Now that we have those, what we can do is we can take the narco that we make from narco berries and rotten meat, and we can use those in combination with arrows that we've made to make tranquilizer arrows. So I'm going to put some of those together real quick, and I'll be right back. Okay, we've got our arrows made. Now let's get the bolas knocked out real quick. We'll need some hide and stone. All right, we've got our bolas and our bow. We'll go to our inventory. We're going to drop our bow into a slot here. So we're going to take that and we're going to put it in slot number 4. So we've got that ready to go, and we're going to take our arrows and drag them down. Now we're going to use our narco arrows, not our stone arrows. Stone will kill them. The narco is what we're going to use to knock them out. So we're going to drag those down. This is the way you arm a bow or a crossbow. You just take the kind of ammo that you're going to use, you drag it down right over top of them, and that will, you see right now it says 0 of 26. So 26, I have 26 Tranq arrows ready to go. And if I come out of this screen here and hit 4, I will notch one arrow and I'm ready to go. Okay. And if you see down here, now it says I have 1 of 25. So 1 is on the bow and 25 right there. You might want to do that so that you make sure you have an arrow on your bow when you get ready to use it, and instead of having to load it right when you get ready to use it. All right. So now let's go find us a Pterodon. I'm sure we've got one around here somewhere. They've been flying all around while we were trying to trap the trike. So let's go down the beach and see what we can find. Oh, of course, got it. Drink some water. Always happens when you're ready in the middle of something. Go out in the water, hit E a couple times, you're ready to roll. Let's go ahead and fill our water bag up just in case this happens again and we're not near the water. Let's tap 9 a couple times and that's ready to roll too. All right, let's see what we got down here. See a couple of them flying around. Let's go ahead and equip our our bola. I'm sorry. Let's go ahead and equip our bolas too. So we'll take those down and we're going to put those on slot number 7. Okay. So we'll hit 7 to get the bolas out. And 4 to get the bow out when we're ready. All right, so we're going to walk down here, and the trick of this is to kind of be a little bit patient, let the Pterodon land. Once he's on the ground, then we can wind up this bola and trap him for a few seconds so that we can shoot him with the Tranq Arrows and knock him out. Sometimes it takes a little bit of patience to try to make sure that we get one here on the ground, but don't run up to them because it'll spook them and then they'll just fly right back up. So just kind of hang out and we'll be right back in a second when we get one on the ground here. That guy that's running around here like a crazy person is an Oviraptor. They won't bite you. They just run around and holler a lot. They're kind of annoying, but there is a use for them in later games. So we'll get back to him at some point. This guy does not want to land for anything. What did I say? The game knows. The game knows I want to trap this guy, and it's just going to let him keep flying around. All right, we'll be back in a second when we get a Pterodon on the ground so that you can see how we do this. Remember I told you about compies and how they'll jump on you if there's enough of them together? And then once they start running off, well, that's what just happened here. So let's take this guy out before he gets any more friends. There, now we got some meat. One of the things that you're going to need for the Pterodon is you're going to need meat. It is a meat eater. Most of the flyers, I think pretty much all the flyers on this game are meat eaters. So when you're going after one, you're going to need to have raw meat on you to use. Oh, now he's back down at the base, of course. Let's go back down here and see if we can't get this guy. All right, I think he's down on the ground over here, so we're gonna kind of careful creep over this bridge and look over the top and say, oh, there he is. Okay, now what I want to do, I don't want to get too close. I want to wind up by holding the trigger button down, aim. Oh no, he took off. That's right. Come on back down here. Give us one more shot. For the kids at home. All right, here we go. One more time. All right, hear that clink? That means I got him. So I want to quick get my bow out. And Pterodons, unlike the Tranqs, the headshot is the best place to do to knock them out faster. And he is down. If you pull an arrow back in order not to lose it, switch it to a different weapon. And that way you won't lose that arrow and just shoot it. If you hold it long enough, it'll go ahead and go out. All right, so we have our Pterodon down. He's a level 48, wild male Pterodon. Pteranodon, I'm sorry. We call them Terrys in my group so much, or flyers, that I get the words screwed up. But anyway, so we got him down. So now what we need to do is make sure we get some meat on him. So we'll hit F, get into his inventory, and we're going to put this stack of 40 meat on him. I don't know how many it's going to take to tame him, but we're going to give this a shot, see what happens. Now, the other thing we want to make sure is that we want to make sure he stays unconscious. So I'm going to drag those narco berries over and just make sure that he stays out, because this is what we're looking at. You see the purple bar here, it says unconscious. And the longer he stays out, the more that bar is going to go down. Now, some animals have a faster recovery than others, and Pterodons have a pretty fast recovery. So we want to make sure he stays unconscious while he's eating so that he'll finish the tame before he wakes up. So while he's sleeping, we'll go back into his inventory and we'll just take a look at a couple things. So the things that we want to make sure, all this is going to change once he tames up. It's going to increase. But what we're looking at is the food. And this is how much food he has in his system. Once this drops down far enough, he'll take a bite of this meat and then it'll fill him up. And then he has to wait and take another bite and it'll fill him up. This is one way to tame, and you just kind of drop the meat in there and let it go. In a dangerous area, we do something that's called starve taming. And what you end up doing in that situation is you put enough narco on the animal to make sure that they're going to stay asleep, and you kind of need to watch it. But you don't put any food on them until their food meter is way down. And then if you remember with the trike, he ate a lot when I first tamed him because we had been messing around with the female and we could, left him kind of in the trap. If the food's way down, they'll eat all that meat or berries or whatever it is really fast, and they'll tame up a lot faster. It doesn't hurt them to starve tame them. And in fact, the advantage of that is in a, like I said, a dangerous area, if something attacks the sleeping knocked out dino, as long as you haven't started the taming process, it won't impact the efficiency of the tame. But once he starts eating, then you need to finish the tame or else he'll lose efficiency. Same goes if he eats all of the meat and you don't have enough for him to finish the tame. While you're trying to get more meat on him or more berries if it's a herbivore, then that taming efficiency starts dropping off and you have to kind of catch back up so you don't get a good 100% tame, which impacts the numbers here when the creature wakes up. So we're going to take a look real quick and see. He ate once. Let's see how far that got us. So we are a third of the way there. Now, if you look, so one bite got us a third of the way there, or a little over a third. And his unconscious meter's not quite down to half. So odds are he's going to finish taming before he wakes up. But you want to make sure that you don't let that purple bar get too far down because, you know, remember I said the game knows. And the last thing you want to do is get that bar down to, you know, just about all gone, and then something happens and you get attacked by a raptor or whatever. It takes your attention away from it. You deal with that issue and then you turn back around and guess what? Your tame's gone because he woke up. And if he's a Pteranodon, he will fly away as soon as he wakes up. So we want to make sure that he gets fully tamed before he gets back to conscious. I'll show you real quick what you do if you want to make sure that that unconscious meter stays kind of high. And that is you go back into his inventory and we put those narco berries. Now that's not the best way to do it. I don't have any narco on me because I used it all for arrows, but he won't eat those black berries. Like I said in a couple videos ago, they won't eat that by choice. But what you can do is you can force feed it by hitting E while you're hovering over the particular item, and he will eat it anyway. Now watch the torpidity down here. See, it's dropping. It's going 262, 261. It's going down because he's going to work his way back to waking up. So if I get him a few narco berries, he'll eat them, and see his torpidity meter is going right back up. So that'll keep him asleep longer. And like I said, if you have narco or later game, you get other tranquilizers that you can use, but you want to keep that torpidity number up because every time it starts dropping, he's getting closer to waking up. You don't have to have him all the way out all the time, but you want to make sure that he stays out, and you want to make sure you're keeping an eye on particular dinos. Let's see where we're at on him. Oh, he's almost 75%. So we'll have us a flyer here in a second. If you remember the last video, I mentioned a tool or an app called Dododex. And we're going to cover that in a future video, but that app will actually tell you how many tranquilizer darts it's going to take to knock down a particular dino at whatever level they are. It's going to tell you what food they need and how much of it, depending on the level they are. It's a really useful tool from early to late game. So I encourage you, if you haven't already, go out and take a look. It's available for iPhones, Androids. There's a website on the computer. You can use your computer if you want to switch back and forth. I keep it on my phone, and when I'm out playing, especially on the high-level dinos, I want to make sure what it's going to take before I start going out there and trying to knock them out. I don't want to be dealing with a Rex and not have enough tranquilizer or enough food to tame it. Well, look at that. We got us a Pteranodon. All right. Let's see. He's a male. Let's call him Flappy McFarkus. There you go. There's a name for you. All right. So Flappy is going to follow us because he's on follower. Now, when I start walking away, he's going to take off flying, and he's going to be really kind of a pain to get back on the ground. So we want to make sure we get kiting so that we can build a saddle for him as soon as possible. Now let's see what he tamed up to, and go ahead and look at his stats. Okay, and I did what I said I don't like to do, which is I named him before we got him to the base. So hopefully that's not bad luck. But we got a decent health, 753. I mean, 471. So he got a bunch of levels. He was a 48. He went up to 71. 756 health. Now here's the things that's important for flyers: stamina and weight, because you want them to be able to carry you and whatever you've got on and carrying with you, and you want them to be able to stay in the airs for as long as possible. So for me, a Pteranodon is a good early game tame, not so much to fly, but to start building levels into him. Because the sooner you start building levels into him, the faster you're going to be able to get that particular animal ready to go to fly you around. And that first animal, that first flyer may not be the best, but believe me, you're gonna that one's gonna be dear to your heart because he's the first or she's the first one you got. So we're gonna go head back to base. We're gonna get him down on the ground. We're gonna build a saddle for him so that it's got some protection, because the saddles actually are armor for the dinos. So it does give them some protection in case they get attacked. And we'll go build a trike saddle too and get that on Tonka down there. So we'll be right back when I get down to the other end of the beach, and I'll show you how to get this guy back on the ground, because he's gonna take off as soon as I walk away, and you'll see that as soon as I start heading down to the camp. All right, Flabby, come on. And there he goes. All right, remember whistle commands. Remember, so I said hit the T button, and you'll get that list of things. Now, this is something they've added into the game since I started playing. It's a really nice feature. Whistle Land Flyer 1. When we first started playing this, these guys would fly all over everywhere. You couldn't get them to get on the ground for nothing in the world. You'd have to try to get on top of them. And if they had a saddle, jump on and make them land. And it's just a pain. But now you have this whistle command. The only trick is you have to be pointing at him, like right there. Oh no. I did a double whistle. Holding down T and clicking means you're gonna do the whistle and then you're gonna do the T whistle too. So, all right, now he's gonna fly around a couple times and he's gonna land. There you go. He's on the ground. He's not following me anymore, but that's great because I don't want him following me. I want him to stay still. All right, so we'll get his levels in, and then I'm gonna start getting the supplies together to get a saddle on him. All right, I'll be right back. Well, I was afraid of that. So the Pterodon Saddle is up the ways. Let's see. How far is the Pterodon Saddle? We got to get to make the trike saddle. I'll go ahead and select that. All the way. Oh, man. Well, that doesn't look good. It's going to be a while before we get a saddle for him. All right. So anyway, we're going to need to get us a few levels before we're ready to put a saddle on this guy. But we'll be ready for it when we get there. We've got the Pterodon. We're going to start leveling him up. I'll put the folders in him, and then we'll get on to the next thing, which is let's get our base set up a little bit better. I want to get a preserving bin, which I believe we can get now. Let's see. Let's talk about preserving. Yep, a preserving bin. And that's going to be important so that we can start having our food last a little bit longer, so we can store our raw meat, our cooked meat, our berries, our narco, so that it won't expire. Well, the narco berries expire. The narco, once you make it, doesn't expire. All right, well, we have our Pteranodon. Unfortunately, I don't have enough levels to get to the saddle. Let's see. I have a couple of levels, I think. One level I can put in, but I don't think it's going to get me there. Let's do weight again. So we'll scroll down. Can I make a saddle? Well, I can make fur and armor and stone buildings. So, hey, we'll upgrade the base to stone. I can get a crossbow. That'll be helpful. We can get a metal pike. That'll be helpful. But we are not at a level yet to get a Pteranodon saddle. So, our next step will be moving into the metal age. We've been using stone and wood tools. We get into metal, we can get a lot more stuff done. We can actually start harvesting metal nodes that are all around the island. And we can start getting some stuff for some farming so we can grow our own narco berries. We don't have to go harvest them. Yeah, so let's get a refining forge and let's get a smithy. Where's that at? Those are two other things that we're definitely going to need here to get into the next phase. Yeah, you know, you can always type it in if you can spell it right. Smithy, we get that. And then the other thing that we're going to want is metal pick. And a metal hatchet. And how are we doing on points? We have 83 points left. Let's look at stone. And let's get us Stone walls, stone foundations, stone ceilings, stone door frame. Not gonna worry about the stairs. I do want to get the stone pillars because they come in really handy for building traps. Then you don't have to build all those ramps and everything else. And I'll show you what I mean when we get to that point. I'm not worried about triangular structures, but we do need a reinforced door. Here we go, reinforced door. Okay, now we're ready to build in stone, which will be a lot more beneficial to us because really when you get down to it, not much down this end of the island is going to be able to break stone. Occasionally through this area, we might get an alpha, which is extra high level particular type of dinosaur. So alpha raptors do roam around the beach down here, more across the water over there. But over here, I think we'll be pretty safe in stone. One thing you can look at when you're exploring the island, if you hit M, it'll bring up your map, which is kind of, oh, it's raining again. Great. It rains a lot here. This will show you the places that you've been on the island. Like I said, I've kind of gone around a little bit to set things up for the video, so I've got a little bit more explored as it was than you'll have when you get the game started. But you can see where you're at on the island. If you die, if you set the settings like I have, it'll leave a death marker so that you can go find your body and get your stuff off of it, because it will leave all your stuff on your body. But again, if you start playing and you're playing down this area right here, our little tribe always called this Sock Puppet Island, because if you look at it, it looks like that's the eye and there's a little mouth and it looks like a sock puppet. But this area is pretty safe. Every once in a while, you'll get a Spino over in this area, in that bay over there, or a Baryonyx over there, which you got to watch out for. And over on that side across the way, of course it's raining, it's a little bit hard to see, you can get the big gators. And like I said, the raptors and things like that are down that way. It's raining. It's getting dark. We got our Pteranodon, which is what we set out to do today. We'll be back next video. I'll have our base upgraded to stone, and we'll be ready to go and do some more exploring on the island. We're going to keep leveling up Flappy McFarkus over here and make sure he's ready to roll and can carry us around and do some high-flying exploring. And we're getting situated down here. It's been a blast for me. I hope it has been for you too. Make sure that you hit that like button if you've enjoyed the video. And it'd be great if you'd hit that subscribe button. And if you do, make sure you hit the bell so you'll be notified every time I post a new video, whether it be on Ark or other games or instructional tutorials on other aspects of video gaming. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. This is Yuli signing out.